The black dollar has to become as selfish as everybody else's dollar. For example, the Chinese dollar never touches a black hand. It never touches a black hand. European Jewish dollar never touches a black hand. The East Indian dollar never touches a black hand. Those dollars are loyal to the people who own them. Now, in total contradiction of that, the black dollar hates the person who owns it. Follow me now. The Anglo-Saxon dollar loves the person who owns it. The black dollar hates the person who owns it. So the minute the black dollar is in the black hand, it's trying to jump into the hand of someone who's not black. So the dollars in our community circulate less than one time. One full cycle does the black dollar take before it leaves our community. And a part of that is due to the fact we do not have a cultural code of loyalty. Black people do not have a cultural code of loyalty. Mexicans have it. That's why Mexicans will support other Mexicans before they go outside the community. They're supposed to. That's not racism. That's intelligence. That's why European Jews will support other European Jews. The Jewish dollar will circulate about 38 times before it leaves the Jewish community. That's not racism. That's intelligence. And why is it intelligence? The first law of existence is self-preservation. The first law of existence is self-preservation.
Here you go.
So the European knows that. The Anglo-Saxon knows that. The Arab, the Chinese, they understand that if I want to make sure my grandchildren's eat. Let me say that again. I want to make sure my grandchild's grandchild can eat off of my money. In order to make sure my grandchild's grandchild can eat off of my money, I have to keep my money in my community. Black people don't have that type of vision or loyalty. And one of the reasons we don't have that type of vision or loyalty is because slavery snatched out our culture and our loyalty to one another and replaced it with religion. Now, let me be clear. I am not anti-religious. My father was Muslim. My mother is Christian. Nothing's wrong with the Quran. Nothing's wrong with the Bible. Nothing's wrong with Islam. Nothing's wrong with Christianity. But what is wrong is taking a people's 350,000-year-old culture and switching it out for a 2,000 and 1,500-year-old religion. And so we are the only people in the country who identify with religion above their culture. Nobody identifies with religion above culture except blacks. So when we hemorrhage our economics, we don't feel bad about it. You know why? Because we are all God's children, black, white, red, and brown. This is how Negroes think. Nobody else thinks this way, only Negroes. So if I go and give the Koreans $30 billion a year on weave, perm, and beauty products, let me say this again. If I give the Koreans $30 billion a year on weave, perm, and beauty products, nothing about that makes me feel bad, even though I'm practicing economic disloyalty. $30 billion a year to the Koreans is economic disloyalty. Why? Where were the Koreans when George Floyd got murdered? Where were the Koreans when Breonna Taylor got murdered? Where were the Koreans when Trayvon Martin got murdered? Where were the Koreans when Tamir Rice got murdered? So you are investing in the economic destiny of a people that cares nothing about your own. That's financial betrayal. You will know when black people are ready for liberation and resurrection, because let me explain something. There must be a resurrection before there can be a liberation. Dead people can't get free. Dead people cannot be part of a freedom struggle. So black people have to be spiritually resurrected before we can be politically liberated. I want to be clear. And part of the spiritual resurrection of African people includes psychological reconstruction. We need a re-Africanization process that feeds the spiritual liberation.
I love it, bro. Yo, put some fire in the chat right now for Dr. Umar, y'all. I know y'all ready for Saturday. Put some fire in the chat right now for Dr. Umar, spitting nothing but quality bars.
And let me say this piece.
Yes.
Just like in the conscious community, we always talk about black people need to join an organization. You always hear about organization. But the contradiction in asking every black person to join an organization lies in the fact that the organizations do not collaborate with one another. The organizations do not communicate with one another. The organizations do not conversate with one another. So when we go to the business community and we ask black people to be loyal to black businesses, we then have to ask black businesses, are they loyal to other black businesses? Because what I find as I travel the country is there is a petty, intense, although often unspoken, competition between black businesses when the truth of the matter is, if y'all work together, you will make more together than you ever could apart. For example, how did the communities take over the hair care industry? The Koreans took over the hair care industry because the barbershops and beauty salons were not cooperating and collaborating. That's how they took over. They took over black hair care the same way the white man took over Africa. How did the white man take over Africa? The African kingdoms were not communicating and collaborating. Communicating means what? We're talking to each other. Collaborating means what? We're working with each other. We have to communicate and collaborate. It just can't be talk. It got to be work. Communicate and collaborate. So one of the things that needs to be discussed on Saturday is how do the businesses there create a uniform system whereby they can trap the black dollar amongst them. So for example,
that's what we got
25 businesses.
That's what we here for, Dr. Umar.
Exactly. If there's 25 businesses, that means the black dollar should be circulating 25 times. If there's 50 businesses, that means the black dollar should be circulating 50 times.
It's 100.
If there's 100 businesses,
it's 100.
That means the black dollar should be circulating 100 times. You know why? Because it should have been spent at the barbershop. It should have been spent at the black nail salon. It should have been spent at the black sneaker store. It should have been spent at the black apparel store. It should have been spent at the massage parlor. It should have been spent at the candle shop. It should have been spent at the oil factory. It should have been spent at the auto salon. You see? So however many businesses you got, that's how many times the dollar should be circulating before it leaves. And if it's only circulating 10, instead of 25. If it's only circulating 20 instead of 50. If it's only circulating 50 instead of 100, do you know what that means? That means that there's black businesses that are not doing enough to push the other businesses.
Got you. That's why collaborating is one of the models that we gotta say collaborate over competition. And the reason my brother Corey is my partner Corey, and I consider him my OG, right?
Yes,
I feel like every young brother should have an OG that could keep them spiritually in line and keep them humble.
Sir. Absolutely.
So I met Corey about 5 years ago, and I want to speak about this a little. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because when it comes to the OGs, I find it a problem with them. Sometimes they turn into gatekeepers for the next generation, right? Sometimes they don't embrace. Sometimes the OGs don't embrace my energy, right? Because I represent the youth. I represent the young business owners out here that's out here really that's getting that online money and offline money, you know. So it's a lot of young people that are entrepreneurs, but they're not getting accepted by the OGs. They're not passing the baton. The people who got the brick and mortars, we're in the brick and mortar right now. His kids work here. So when I met him, he was doing something called Black Wall Street Resurrection. And then I said, bro, that's cool, but I like melanin. So we mixed it up and we turned this thing into a melanin market. And he embraced my energy. And I love that for him, but I haven't received that type of energy from a lot of different OGs. What's up with the gatekeeper vibes with the OGs, Dr. Umar?
Absolutely. What happens, the older we get, the more conservative we become. Because the older we get, the less idealistic we are and the less radical we become. And so the older we get, we drift back into what's expected. We drift back into the status quo. And it's all about the relationships that we have built with good people and bad people. Because in order for me to live out the rest of my life comfortably, I need to protect the relationships I have. So the older we become, the more protective we become and selfish we become about ourselves, because we see the biological time clock is ticking. So rather than push against the grain, let me fall back, stop challenging the mayor. Let me fall back, let me stop challenging the status quo. Because here's the problem. Black elders and soon to be elders, the reason they get conservative and turn into gatekeepers. So the very system they fought, they now join it. The very system they fought in their 30s and 40s, they join it in their 50s and 60s. But I'm going to tell you why.
Why?
And this is on the youth.
Okay.
The Black community is one of the only communities that does not have a retirement program or revolutionary pension system for its freedom fighters. Our freedom fighters die broke. Our freedom fighters die in the old folks' home. We can run down the names. Everybody from Grandmaster Teacher Dr. Yusuf Ben Yakinen. You understand? We can look at Dr. John Henry Clark. We can look at Ivan Van Sertima. And even when you come over to popular freedom fighters like a Malcolm X and a Dr. King and a Fred Hampton, who looked after their widows and their children after they died? We put nothing in place to help Betty Shabazz take care of Malcolm's daughters after he was gone. We put nothing in place to help Coretta take care of those children after he was gone. We put nothing in place to help Fred Hampton's queen take care of Fred Hampton Jr. after he was gone. We do not honor and protect the people who sacrificed for us. They died dead and broke. So the freedom fighters, when they get 50 and 60 and they start developing the diseases that come with age, they get conservative because they say, I know the state of Pennsylvania, I know the state of Georgia, I know the state of California, I know the state of Texas has a little retirement thing. They got a little SSI, they got a little insurance. What the Black community got? What the Black community got? I've given you my youth. I've given you my youth. I gave you 18 to 38. And now you want me to give you 38 to 98. I'm not going to do that. So what we got to do is put a system in place that provides retirement and a degree of comfort for our elders so they can stay on the front line and not have to sell out to prevent from going homeless.
Come on, bro.
Go ahead, teach, brother.
Teach.
But Dr. Umar, man,
yes, sir.
Point. One of the things I would like you to touch on in reference to how important it is amongst our people into gaining that knowledge. And I know that you are doing the work with the schoolings. So you being an educator know the importance of us educating ourselves instead of being in a curriculum of those who don't have our best interests. When I watched The Hidden Colors for the first time, it was a trailblazer, brother, for myself, as I had suffered from years of alcohol abuse, as so many of us in our communities are running and smoking and drinking to hide our pain because we are not in position that we want to be. So as I'm sobering up, brother, I watch Hidden Colors.
Let's talk about it. Let's tell the truth out here.
And I'm blown away.
Mm.
That little bit now, my back, I start to stand upright, And then later that year, it was the 2015 was when the Million Man March went down in D.C., 10/10/2015. And I went and saw the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And now I'm seeing loads of our people. So that knowledge had inspired me to start to stand. So speak to our people the importance of education, and not just education of going to these universities that don't have our best interest, us educating ourselves.
You bring up a powerful point, my brother. And I want to draw a parallel when we discuss education, right? We got FDMG coming. We have schools around the community. Not enough independent Black schools, obviously. Other community has schools as well. Here's what I want to say. As much as we need to educate our people, as much as we need to educate our children, we need to understand the most important job of a school and a community is not to teach. That's the second job. The most important job of a school and a community is to socialize. You have to socialize the children so they can work together. You have to socialize the children so they'll spend their money with their own. You have to socialize Black boys so that they will respect Black girls. And let me tell you why socialization is stronger than education. Let's hypothetically, right? Let's say all three of us, three Black men, we are functioning at different levels of intelligence, different levels. Let's say I'm a slow learner. One of you have average intelligence. The other brother, you mentally gifted. I'm a slow learner. I'm towards the low end. You mentally gifted. You at the top. You average. You in the middle. If you want to educate me on why the Black man needs to respect the Black woman because I'm a slow learner, it may take me a while to come to that. It may take me a while to really embrace the philosophy behind why I shouldn't be out here dating snow bunnies. It's going to take a while. But if you socialize me, socialization don't require no intelligence. Socialization doesn't require me to be able to conceptually embrace what you're trying to do. Socialization says, in this community, you respect the women or you get your ass whipped. It don't matter if you're mentally retarded, mentally gifted, slow learner, average IQ. You understand that if you don't want hands put on you, you're going to respect the women. See, socialization not only keeps the structure together, it keeps people honest because they don't want to suffer the consequences. The education might take a while. You might take a while to educate a thief on why he should not steal. But guess what? If you socialize the thief as to why you better not steal, the behavior may actually precede the intellectual mastery of the concept, if that makes sense to you. Let me give you an example. A child is playing with fire on the stove.
Right.
Playing with fire on the stove. His mama come, smack his hands. He start crying. That three-year-old does not know how dangerous fire is.
Right.
It's going to take him a few years before he understands that fire kills. But guess what? Every time he plays with that fire, his hand gets smacked. So he is being socialized. He is being trained on how to function in this house. He's being trained in how to act in this house. He's being trained in what to value in this house. And that's why we have to socialize people. They can get it intellectually later, but we got to socialize them now because the community can't wait for everybody to wake up. The community needs structure right now.
Right. Right. So it's so, oh my gosh, you had so many points. So just again, for everybody on the live, we will be at the Showboat Hotel in Atlantic City this Saturday. We're building economics. It's going to be entertainment. It's going to be empowerment. And I mean, what you just said to me, it's almost like what we're doing right now. It's like we're fighting against that, bro. I want you to understand. We're fighting against the systems. We're fighting against
Yes, sir.
us waiting for things to happen. Like I said, we don't have a bunch of sponsors, none of that. But we're doing whatever we got to do to get the dollar circulating Black Friday weekend. And this is something that we should be doing all the time.
Right.
Like, we really want everybody to understand that the melanin market is all about circulating the dollar. So, Umar, I really appreciate you. But
And let them know that you're going to have the vendors in the building so they can do their Black Friday shopping with Black people. Let them know that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So we have over 100 business owners that's going to be in one location, y'all. One location in Atlantic City. And you guys can shop with them. You can go on our website right now. It's free tickets. It's free tickets for everybody. But listen, it's limited. Once we hit about 600, it's going to be a wrap. So go on the website right now. We got about 200 more tickets to give away for free. But one thing I wanted to share with y'all before we got off of this live is, when I was a kid, man, I really did not have the opportunity to see these business owners. And, you know, me being born in Philadelphia, raised in Willingboro, New Jersey, I just want to share a quick testimony with y'all. See, when I was growing up, I did not see a bunch of Black business owners. I seen maybe a barbershop owner, and that was pretty much it as growing up. So if you go on our page, you'll see little kids selling things. You'll see people with candles. And if we had these opportunities as kids, I don't think I would have went through a lot of the things that I went through. And I want to just share a testimony with everybody that's on the live right now. When I was 19 years old, I was shot in the chest in a drive-by shooting. Just I would say following America's culture. Being a young Black kid trying to find his way, I was shot in the chest, guys, and I survived that. And and what happened now that we're here, 5 years later, I want everybody to understand that we're at a place now where we have the opportunity where kids can come out and sell their own merchandise and be inspired and see more. When I was 19, I did not see that much. I just seen basketball players and barbershop owners. I want you guys to understand that. So we are trying to change the paradigm with how kids think. We want them to come to this event. We want them to see Umar speak live. We want people to understand that this is not just an expo, guys. This is a revolution. We're putting Dr. Umar in the room with all these beautiful people, and it's going to be a celebration. Yes, you're going to learn something, but we have kid models. We have kid organizations like the Conglomerate. We have different people that's involved, the Studio Diva Kids, all these different children organizations we're going to be showcasing. So we want to give kids the opportunity to build confidence. So Umar, real quick, how do you feel about the youth and them just being in one building with you, bro? How does that make you feel?
Well, I love the youth. You know, my life is dedicated to the success of Black children. That's all I've ever wanted to do was help our babies. That's why I decided to become a school psychologist, a clinical psychologist. That's why we're working on the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. I want adults to understand something, though. As we go, so will the youth go. And one of the things that bothers me is when I hear conversations about the youth from adults who are constantly wondering what's wrong with them. We are what's wrong with them. The condition of the youth is a psychological printout of what the adults did not do for them. So when we're looking at the youth, we are looking at a reflection of ourselves and our neglect for them. What we are dealing with in Philadelphia with this Black on Black crime and across America, it's everywhere. This is the result of a Black community that has abandoned their responsibility to protect and provide for its youth. Point blank, period. John would not be selling guns. John would not be robbing nobody. John would not be selling crack if the community provided a job for John. So every problem that Black youth have is the result of what the community stopped doing for itself.
That's why it's so important. Go ahead, Corey.
And I'm glad you talked on that, because between Dr. Umar, the ages of 1835 Black community, and I'm paraphrasing the statistics, it is alarming our youth are not are unemployed compared to other ethnicities. So the dollar is coming out of our community, and then our youth do not have a job. And if our youth are able to be employed, then that creates that social change that you're talking about. Because now that man, that business owner can have an influence socially with the young brother and sister.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, one of the greatest recipes of disaster in our community right now, one of the greatest recipes of disaster in our community right now, it's like touching two car battery cables together. You're going to start off an explosion. And that is doing this. We have a culture in the Black community, I'm going to call it pathology, that is being fed by gangster rap and other elements that values high-end, conspicuous consumption of expensive European-made goods. The Black community is addicted to high-end, expensive European-made goods, from the clothes to the cars to the jewelry. That is what we promote as a symbol of success. If you ain't got the platinum chain, if you ain't got the Mercedes, if you ain't got the Benz, if you ain't got the Yeezys on, if you ain't got the Jordans on, you are a failure. Now check this out. You're promoting high-end European consumption.
Say that.
On the other hand, the Black community has the worst education system, the worst job employment system. So what sociologically, what are we creating when you preach you got to be able to afford a Mercedes? You got to be able to get the Yeezys. You got to be able to have the platinum iced out diamond chain. You got to be able to live like this and eat like this and dress like this to be considered a success. And you're promoting this conspicuous consumption, this materialist addiction to people who are the least educated, the least employed, qualitatively the poorest group. Do you know what you're doing? You are creating a culture of criminalization. Because what you're saying is, this is what I need to be successful. And I don't have none of the resources to get this legally. There's no way I'm going to get a Mercedes legally with the education I'm getting from the school district of Philadelphia and the jobs that I'm getting out here in the city of Philadelphia. There's no way I'm getting the Yeezys like this. There's no way I'm getting a platinum iced out chain from the Diamond District with the education and jobs that are available to me. But you're telling me that I gotta wear this to be successful, so you are automatically creating an atmosphere that's telling me without telling me. That's telling me without telling me I have to become a criminal in order to be a success. I have to become a criminal in order to be a success because there's no structure. There's no system in place. There's no process. There's no protocol established in the Black community where I can legally and realistically obtain the things you say I need to be a success without breaking the law. So the Black community is responsible for our children becoming criminals because we are pushing a materialistic lifestyle without providing them with the educational or economic resources to attain that lifestyle legally. There would be no criminals if the Black community did not groom them.
Come on, y'all. Come out on the 26th and see how we come together. We all come together on the 26th. We change it. We got to change this. We got to change this. Corey, need anything else before we close up?
Dr. Umar, I just want to thank you for your perspective, your education, you being who you are. Our experience is that, the little bit of work we've been doing is hard. So we want to acknowledge
it's hard.
As a Black man going up trying to help our people, I already know you're fighting wars on the front side that we see and that you don't see. So as a people, we like to use the term, we're going to settle on the best part. And, brother, I just want to applaud you on that. I'm looking forward to seeing you because
likewise,
we talking solutions. We
yes,
talking things. We're going to have that. We're going to be around each other. We're going to love one another, and we're going to pull that wild it out and patronize one another, because that's real love. But that's all for me, brother. And you know, if anything, I would like to hear is just you reinforcing the point of how important the black business owner is. Do they know how valuable they is, and how important that consumer really is? Do
Oh,
they?
absolutely.
You said it was an asset. Remember, you said black business owners are an asset.
Black businesses are an asset.
Absolutely. And we need black businesses to become a community unto themselves. See, black businesses are islands. Most black businesses, they exist as an island, completely separate from other black businesses. We need the black businesses to come together and form a community. For example, how many times do you see black businesses advertised together? Almost never. How many times do you see black business do discount promotions together? Almost never. How many times have you seen a black business say, if you come to my store, you get 25% off at his store? Bring me a receipt from his store and I'm going to give you 15% off at my store. If the people see the black businesses working together more, they will work with the black businesses together more. Each one, teach one. All for one, one for all. We rise together or not at all.
Woo. Come on, King. Woo. I know y'all ready. I know y'all ready. I see all the comments. Once again, I just want to thank you, Dr. Umar. I can't wait for you to come down. Thank you for spending your time with us. Just so everybody knows real quick, y'all can go on the website, themelaninmarket.com. You guys can see Dr. Umar free. He is speaking at 3 p.m. So get there early because we have tickets right now. They're $20 if you show up after 3. But like I said, we're going to be empowering each other. We're going to be circulating the dollar. We have 100 black-owned businesses all in one room, and then we have a fashion show. We got things for the kids. We are going against the system. It's time for us to elevate each other, and I'm just so excited for Dr. Umar to be involved. Once again,
Looking forward to it. So to recap,
it's your brother
more than 100 black businesses will be at the Showboat Casino, Atlantic City, New Jersey, this Saturday, November the 26th, 11 until 7, and you can get in free until 3. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah, but you got to hurry up and go on the, you got to go on the website.
But you got to get the ticket on the website.
Yeah.
Themelaninmarket.com. Get your tickets at themelaninmarket.com right now for this Saturday, November the 26th, day after Black Friday. 100 black businesses. Come do all your holiday shopping at the Showboat Casino in Atlantic City. Dr. Umar speaks at 3 o'clock, so don't be late. I repeat, Dr. Umar speaks at 3, Showboat Casino, Atlantic City, New Jersey, Black Business Expo and Fashion Show. Go on the website right now, melaninmarket.com, themelaninmarket.com. And if you get there after 3, you will have to pay $20, family. Everybody better be in the building. Jersey pull up, New York pull up, Maryland pull up, Connecticut pull up, DC, VA, Carolina, Tennessee, West Virginia. Everybody pull up. And it's going to be so hot in there that we're going to have to go jump in the Atlantic Ocean, the African Ocean. It's going to be so hot, we're going to go swimming on the Atlantic City Boardwalk in November. Black power. There could be no black power without the black dollars. Let's get it popping.
Let's get it, man. We'll see y'all there. I know y'all fired up. Thank you, Dr. Umar.
No problem.
We're going to have to bring Dr. Umar back. I know you got that Vegas date in February.
Yes, sir.
So just a little sneak peek, we might have to bring Dr. Umar back February 19th. So for all the people who
let me know.
Out, y'all can't get in, we gonna have to bring Dr. Umar back for a part 2. We just gonna say it right now live. Umar, you coming with us?
Let's do it.
You coming with us, Dr. Umar. You coming with us. You family, I appreciate you. And everybody on the live, come with the family, y'all. We appreciate everybody on here, and we thank everybody. And y'all have a great night.
Black power.
Black power, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.